You're listening to Season 14 of the Virtual Tailgate, a media bullcrap production covering college football in the Atlantic Coast Conference. I'm Andrew, and joining me, as always, is David.
I'm the best player in the country. I'm humbly saying that, and I'm confident saying that.
Anything to add?
The Hokies scored 34 points on Friday night, and they got 0 wins. Sorry, I couldn't help myself, Jared.
He kept bugging you about CMC in the pre-show, so I'm not surprised.
He had that coming. I was gonna let Cam Ward just speak for me, but I can't.
Wait, well, you know what? Tell CMC to come chase after me. All right, if he can get off his 2 busted Achilles.
I think he could still get you, and
that's not hurt me as much as you seem to think it does.
Poop.
Geoff, save us. How are you, Geoff?
It took so long to get to me because just because of how this show always starts off, right? And so I'm going to take a few minutes here for our long-term listener to break down the chaos of how this show goes. So Andrew, first off, he leads in with some boilerplate that we've been doing this show forever. And then David pivots to some reference to number 34, 35, 36. I don't know. It keeps changing. Next, I flow into some shameless plug for the finest Italian-American leather boots available. Tacova work boots, looking confident, feeling taller. And then Jared will most likely end with some satirical PSA that relates to bodily functions, political incorrectness, or both. Then Andrew will bring us back with how we can get in touch with us on this beautiful ballet we all like to call the weave, folks. The weave.
Jared, prove him wrong.
The quality parody service announcement is from the Virtual Tailgate. Fuck the ACC refs.
And you're part of the problem.
I actually think he kind of proved me wrong there.
All you had to do was catch the ball.
All I had to do was stand by the call.
The call is wrong.
I was right on the field.
Oh, they have replay.
I thought we were all gonna start rhyming. I thought we were all gonna start rhyming there for a second. Be sure to join the tailgate on Facebook at Virtual Tailgate or email us virtualtailgate@mediabullcrap.com.
All right. Well, yeah. So I thought that's pretty much the highlight of our show. That's it for the Virtual Tailgate. You can send your questions, answers, complaints to some email address. But what am I saying here? We do have a lot more boredom for you all before we get to the grand finale. We've got our players of the week to start off because there was football played last week. We actually got into some maybe starting to get into some of the meat of the conference play here. So some you might be starting the big meat. That's right. We had the big meat. We had some big games on Friday. David, why don't you kick us off with your player of the week?
I'd be happy to. Yeah, mine was on Friday night down in Coral Gables. It was a night of special teams for the Hokies. They were very special at times. My game ball is going to John Love. He's the Hokies kicker, converted on 2 absolute bombs, a 52-yarder and then a 57-yarder. And so obviously, if you had another chance to kick a field goal that could end up putting your team in position to win the game, you'd take that chance, especially from 27 yards, right? Right? Not so much. The Hokies decided to try to fake a field goal with one of the worst blocking schemes we've ever seen. Ended exactly as you would expect, and that meant that they ended up in a position, instead of kicking a game-winning field goal at the end, they were in spot to have a Hail Mary prayer, which, as we've alluded to already, looked like it worked for a few minutes until it didn't. John Love is the player of the week here. Should have had an even more special week. Could have been the game winner. As it stands, he just had a great night in a losing effort for the Hokies.
All right. So speaking of being on the winning side of that exciting game, Andrew, I think you've got somebody that they came away with a W.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Cam Ward continues to impress across the board. Responsible for 5 total touchdowns in the game, 342 yards through the air, 4 of those through the air. The final one coming as part of his 57 yards on the ground. What more can we say about what Cam Ward has done so far and where he's headed? As I said to Jared, beyond even the kick related stuff, I really did feel like the game seemed cemented. It seemed fated to go one way whenever Ward was basically wrapped up by the Virginia Tech defense, pitched the ball to a receiver in a awkward underhand motion, which then turned into a pretty big plus gain. It's been pretty amazing to watch what he's been able to do this year. So Cam Ward gets yet another game ball.
This feels like a time we should let Cam speak for himself.
You're right.
I'm the best player in the country. I'm humbly saying that, and I'm confident saying that.
You know what they say down in Miami about quarterback Cam Ward with the start he's had this season? They say there's a saying that they all use, and I'm pretty sure they all use. I've heard them all use it. It's a great saying. They say Cam Ward, he's no DJU.
The portal giveth and the portal taketh away.
Yeah. So,
well, speaking of giving, Jared, there was a quite an exciting. I don't even know how to explain it. There was quite a present that was gifted to your player of the week after being down early in the game again the Duke UNC game last week.
Yeah, Star Thomas, the running back for Duke, had 30 carries, 166 yards, and a touchdown with 122 of those coming in the second half. Very impressive. It's kind of ironic how Duke stayed with the ground game being that far behind, and it worked. He's the 6th Duke running back to have at least 3 straight 100-yard games in a season. And it's the second largest comeback in Duke football program history, and I believe the largest comeback ever against UNC, which I think speaks volumes for the resiliency of Duke football with their new head coach, and maybe the end. Well, let's be honest, it is the end for probably Mac Brown at this point.
There's a serious run on Christmas trees in Chapel Hill right now.
All right. Well, for my game ball, I'm going a little bit unconventional here, but I'm going to go back to a game that's related to what Andrew and David led off with. My game ball this week is going to the referees of the Miami Virginia Tech game because they pulled off the miraculous feat of getting the call wrong twice. Yes, getting it wrong twice. All right, here we go, guys. This is the here we go. I'm gonna make everybody happy and piss everybody off at the same time here, because one, the first thing, it should not have been ruled a catch. The ball was not caught. Okay, it was not a touchdown. Should not have been a touchdown. Now take that with you. That said, the rule is conclusive evidence that you can overturn that call. You have to be able to say without the shadow of a doubt that ball was not a catch, which you also cannot say from the replays, no matter how many angles, no matter how much you slow it down, no matter how many times you try to peel away all the bodies that were involved with that. Once it was called a touchdown, it should have stayed a touchdown, even though that was the wrong call, and they still got it right, and Miami walked away with the victory. ACC refs, you got it right, even when you got it wrong twice.
My PSA still stands. Anyway, let's take a look at this week's power rankings here on the Virtual Tailgate. At number 5, we have Boston College dropping 2 spots after their 21-20 win over Western Kentucky. The Eagles, with their backup quarterback, squeaked it out at the last second. They are 4-1 and still undefeated in conference play with their 1 win over Florida State. And, that leaves still a few teams to say this.
No, where'd it go?
Any day.
Come on, you damn bird! Come and get me!
I love how
that's a little flat right there, Andrew.
I love how delayed Jared is.
Jeez.
What
So,
happened?
Did it play?
Didn't you hear it?
No. It was you did it in your tunnel again, I think.
Yeah.
How did that? What's going on here?
We were doing so well too.
Yeah,
We've got
We really
I
weren't.
You guys heard everything previously, right? You heard Cam
Yeah.
Ward.
I'm the best player in the country. I'm humbly saying that, and I'm
Yep.
confident saying that.
Okay, Cam,
how
we
about
got
this
it.
time? How about this time? How about this time?
Come on, you damn bird! Come on,
Folks, you are experiencing what we call dead air.
That just
It's also dead
Also,
in
also,
our
also known as
podcast.
awkward silence.
Oh, okay.
So, number 4.
Well, come on, you damn bird. Come and get me.
There you go. There
it's
it is.
gonna be on the final recording, and you guys are all gonna look dumb. It's there. I just don't know. Like,
Andrew, we've been doing this podcast for nearly 15 years. We can't look much dumber.
Yeah,
Number
you think this is what's gonna make us look dumb? Give me
Yeah.
a break.
I don't.
Number
I mean, we let Jared on this show. I mean, that was the first mistake.
No, the mistake is you let Jared stay on the show.
Well, that's true.
That's on you. Number 4 is Pitt.
This is the weave, guys, by the way. This is part of the weave.
Weave into a pit of fire. Number 4, Pitt Panthers. They jump up a spot. Though they didn't play, 4-0. Still have our way. They're going to start conference play this week. But they get this announcement from old Matt Brown.
man. Enjoy your day.
Did you get that one?
No,
No. Okay, so it's only brand new clips that are coming through.
Well, I mean, it came through just super soft.
That's probably like bleed over from my headphones or something like that.
Yeah.
So-
Can we pause at this moment to discuss the fact that Pittsburgh jumped ahead of Boston College in a week where Pitt was off and BC won?
don't play Western Kentucky so close. Is
Pretty
the life
much.
lesson here?
Jeez.
Yeah, get your Gatorade again. Enjoy your day.
They did win a game with their backup quarterback. Now, there's a lot of ACC schools that can't win a game with their starting quarterback, so that should be worth something.
I'm
It's-
saying.
It is. It's
Enjoy your day.
worth being in the top 5 of our rankings. You know?
All right. Well,
Number-
Jesus.
Yeah, number 3 is Clemson jumping up a spot after the 40-14 win over Stanford. The Tigers are 3-1 and 2-0 in conference play. Number 2, Louisville dropping a spot after their tough 31-24 non-conference loss to Notre Dame. The Cardinals, geez, I almost got that name mixed up. 3-1 in conference play. I was about to say, I don't know. I was about to say the Irish, I think. That would have been bad. Number 1, the Canes. We've talked about them enough. They won. They haven't moved up or down. Well. Oddly enough, I guess the Canes... Andrew,
Jared, you're the QA guy. You're supposed to say this shit before the game, before we start recording.
I really thought I could trust you more. I guess it's on me too. But Andrew, come on. We're moving on. 15, bottom 3 of our podcast rankings. Number 15, Stanford. They still stay at their spot after their 40-14 loss to Clemson. 16th is Florida State after their ridiculous loss to SMU, 42-16 in Dallas. The Seminoles are 1-4 overall, 1-3 in conference play. I guess we could try to play that one John Cena bit. Does it come through?
Oh no,
No.
that's not even downloaded anywhere.
That's
You're
a
just
shame.
you're just gonna get like, I don't know.
I'm the best player in the country. I'm humbly saying that, and I'm confident saying that.
You sure are, DJU. Number 17, Wake Forest. Still at the bottom of our power rankings after a tough 41-38 loss to Louisiana. It's Louisiana's first win against an ACC opponent ever. And, the Wake Forest are looking for their first conference win. They do have a win, but it doesn't look like many more are coming, which would lead to a certain person to say this to them.
Rock says they kept you at the bottom of the barrel because you absolutely suck.
No idea.
Hey, soundboard is back.
Hey,
Oh,
there we go.
I
It's all
restarted.
back.
I restarted the soundboard in between, so that's what made it happen for you guys.
Oh, can we go ahead and get Mac Brown to talk to Pitt real quick about moving up the power spot?
Enjoy your day.
That work out?
Nope.
This is so random.
See, well, Mac has famously quit, and apparently he's quit this show.
Yeah.
He's enjoying a Gatorade himself.
I have no idea. I have no idea. Good grief.
All right, boys, you want to talk football?
But does Coach Cut work? I mean, I think the
Does Duke play football? You damn right we play football.
How about outstanding athletes, real quick?
Outstanding athletes.
Yeah, that's what you are there, Mr. Star Thomas.
I mean, they might have only played football for half a game, but that's all they needed to.
That's all you need.
Against the Tar Heels. It doesn't take much more right now.
I mean, you see what JMU did in a full game? I mean, good grief, you guys show some mercy.
All right. Well, speaking of the Tar Heels and what JMU did to them, Tar Heels are at home this weekend hosting the Pitt Panthers. This is a Pittsburgh team that's 4-0 on the season, all non-conference. They're the last team to open ACC play. They have been scoring a ton of points this year. They're going up against the Tar Heels defense that at times just looks like a sieve there. Amazingly enough, the spread is only 2.5 in favor of the Panthers. The game's on the road in Chapel Hill here. Looks like all of us are taking Pitt. You guys are all taking the spread. I've got the money line, but pretty similar picks here. What has to happen for the Tar Heels to turn it around in this one? And maybe a better question, why is the point spread so close here?
To the second one, who knows? It feels like at times that like Vegas hasn't actually paid attention to the way the games are being played at all. I mean, it's still sitting at 2.5, 3 in most places. So I think the reason, maybe is like, does it like North Carolina's offense can sometimes outplay their defense enough that they can win. So that's North Carolina's chance. But honestly, I don't know. I don't feel like this game is going to be anywhere near close in North Carolina's favor. This is Pitt has been a much better team all season long.
Tar Heels are in a kind of a danger zone here where if the wheels really fall off, like if they were to drop this game, like they're at home the next 2 weeks against Pitt and Georgia Tech, both games that are winnable, but also games where you could easily see them losing. And if so, you got to think that just the momentum of Mac Brown being on the way out the door, all of that stuff is just going to start weighing on. This does not seem like the most mentally strong team to begin with. And you could really see them unraveling here, right?
Yeah, I think part of the, I mean, I think that to your point, this is really like a danger zone for UNC coming into this game. I mean, this is a UNC team that's coming in. I mean, you can say, well, they're 3-0. They've got they're 3-2, over 500 to start the season. But let's make no qualms about it. I mean, this is I don't want to say it's the most unimpressive 3-2 record in the ACC or in the country, but it can't be very impressive. I mean, you got NC Central and then and Colgate are two of those victories, as well as a close opening week victory against Minnesota. Not anything anybody's going to write home about. And then really recently, you've got that debacle against JMU that everybody's talking about, and then the second half collapse against Duke after being up 20-0. It looked like maybe they were turning the ship around. So I think you're exactly right. This is really a point where UNC, this is a team that's going to struggle, I think, for most of the season. May sneak into bowl eligibility by the time all is said and done, but could be tight. But I really think that the reason why the spread is so close is probably because of the unprovenness of Pitt and their 4-0 start on the season. Because similar to UNC's victories, Pitt's victories is nothing that anybody's going to write home about either. But I think you have to. I just have to give a little bit more benefit of the doubt to a team that's managed to at least start the season in a positive light, because this is a UNC team that, outside of maybe that Duke game, there's no reason they shouldn't have won those other games, and really been establishing themselves as a team that was, in competition, at least for the top of the ACC, and clearly they're not there right now. So I think this, I'm not going as far as everybody else says as a Pitt blowout, because it feels like once we get into conference play, at least me, I always feel nervous whenever I'm putting my confidence in Narduzzi. He'll win some and he'll lose some, but it always feels like you're taking some antacids while you're at it, waiting for the clock to hit triple zeros with his game. So I'm not so sure I'm comfortable with Pitt winning this running away, but it certainly feels like they've put together a more solid start to the season than Mac Brown and the Tar Heels have.
So it's a solid breakdown. Anything else to say about this one before we move on?
I think that wraps it up beautifully. I mean, it's one of those games. I would not be surprised if North Carolina does find a way to win, but it's just hard to trust them.
It is one of those games, and I know we don't want to but I think we've kind of talked around it a lot. Is if you were to say we've got Pitt in some capacity all the way across the board. But I think I would ask is, knowing what we've seen from UNC, the collapses we've seen the last week, the debacle against JMU the week before, let's just go across the board, Andrew, Jared, David, we've all got Pitt. Would it surprise you to see UNC win this game?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So
those corners are on an island still. They're not getting any help.
Yeah. Narduzzi's telling them, tough shit, Bricks. You figure it out.
Yeah, and I mean, North Carolina has some talent. They can score some points, and so you could kind of see this being a shootout. It's never wrong to take the home team in the shootout, and the team that's pretty desperate. And so if North Carolina, if they're going to right the ship and turn things around, this is going to be the time. And so I almost took the Tar Heels here just for that reason, that, hey, at some point they've got to, but that's been the same logic that I keep picking Florida State to win games on. I've decided that's not working out for me.
No.
All right, well, let's move on to the next one. This is a really interesting contest. The newest ACC powerhouse, the Southern Methodist University Mustangs, traveling to Louisville, taking on the Cardinals. Louisville starts out as an 11-point favorite in this one. Cardinals are nationally ranked. They almost pulled the upset a week ago against Notre Dame. SMU, as we've alluded to already, dominated against Florida State. So really interesting matchup here. Looks like all three of you are high on the Mustangs, either pulling the upset or at least making it close. I'm not quite sold on that. Convince me that SMU wins this thing, or at least comes close to it.
Well, I mean, I don't know I'm going to do any convincing, but I do have some stats here real quick on the update on the odds from ESPN. The initial line here that we are provided here that we're using for the podcast, ESPN has dropped it to Louisville -7. So there is some action on the SMU side. Now, of course, so yeah, according to the smart folks with the money that build the buildings in Las Vegas, at least Andrew and Geoff are. I'm going for the straight up win. I think Louisville is a good team. I just think Southern Methodist is actually the better team. And I think they're now, honestly, got the inside track to get to the ACC title game. And I think it starts with this one. In fact, this could be a very decisive tiebreaker if you look at it at the end of the day, because Louisville, I don't think is going to lay down for this one. I think it's going to be a tight game. I just think at the end of the day, you flip a coin. I think it's a coin flip, not as double digits as we initially thought here. I think it's a coin flip, and I have a hunch about SMU.
I'm not going as far as, one, it's hard for me to pick SMU on the money line because I'm riding the Cardinals as the top team in the ACC. I have not put Miami in my number one spot in the power rankings, and last week did not do Miami any favors. I almost felt vindicated until the referees actually wrongly reversed their call in the at the end of that game. But I've still got Louisville at the top of my power rankings. I still think they're the best team and the team to beat. This they played a close game against a 16th ranked Notre Dame team last weekend, so it was a loss nonetheless. But it was not an embarrassing loss, as you will. But I also think, in the money line, I think, or the spread, I think shows it, is that these are two teams that will put up a lot of points. The defense on both these teams can be suspect at times. The offense is never in question. And to me, when we started off with a Louisville -11 line, I mean, does one team get blown out and you end up with a two touchdown? You at that point you're really talking about either a 13 or a 14-point win if you kind of play the odds of how you get to a -11. It feels a realm for in a game that feels like it could turn into a shootout to have to have that differential in scoring opportunities, even if it comes into a backdoor cover at the end of the game where SMU comes back and scores late trying to come back. It feels like they're going to pull that game within 10 points one way or another. I'm not going out. I'm not going with the outright upset like Jared is, but I believe that this SMU game. I believe this game is going to turn into a shootout. I haven't looked at the over/under. We don't have that listed right here. Let me see. I might have it pulled up right now. I assume that it's
got to be a lot.
Yeah, I assume that it has to be pretty hefty. Well, this one only says over under 56.5. I was expecting something north of 60 just as we were sitting here talking, but I think it's going to be an exciting game, and -11 just felt too much for two teams that have the horsepower, as you will, if you're an SMU pun, to put up points on the board. So I'm going with SMU to cover the spread, not for the outright upset.
Andrew, you agree?
Yeah. Trying to come up with a different take than what Geoff already had here. I mean, honestly, David, I can't believe that you're taking Louisville on the money line after you were the one who sent us the SMU game day video. I mean, it was inspiring. I learned about lions and blood and how it's just like the 80s all over again.
All of that is true. SMU's social media, SMU and Cal have upped the social media game of the ACC in an enormous way. So I am in favor of this expansion that we've seen. I really like SMU, and I agree with what Jared said that there's a legitimate chance that they end up in the conference title game. I think the experts agree with that as well. I was looking at the ESPN has their playoff predictor, and they really view this game as one that has serious playoff implications. They've got Louisville right now with a 21% chance and SMU with a 13% chance of making the playoff, and I think that puts them at the third and fourth highest odds in the ACC behind just the U and Clemson. So there's this is a real matchup here. I mean, I'll tell you what I think. I don't think SMU has the world's greatest defense. I think Louisville will be able to score on them, and I really like this passing attack. And you guys can help me understand, how do you pronounce Louisville's quarterback's name? Tyler Shough.
Oh God!
It's Shough, isn't it?
No, it's
no.
Gosh, I heard it. I almost texted you guys, and I now feel bad that I didn't.
Is this more complicated than the quarterback that's no longer playing at Florida State?
It's like Shough or something. It's got like a K in it that you wouldn't expect.
Oh my goodness, that's tailor-made for a quarterback right there.
Well, I'm just gonna call him Tyler. Tyler this season.
Tyler
thrown 11 touchdowns and only one pick. The man is getting the job done. I think this is a game where he shows out and shows up and leads Louisville to victory. I think you guys are right that SMU that 11 point spread, especially that's a lot of points. I don't know that I see Louisville blowing them out in quite that way, but I think the Cardinals do enough to get the victory, move ahead as favorites in the ACC.
Shough. It's Shough.
Shough. Tyler Shucks.
Shuck and all. There we go. That we just came up with Louisville's new offense. Shuck and all.
That's the title of the episode, man. Shuck and all. That's good.
Props to Wikipedia for having the little pronunciation keys right there at the top. But also, David, I at least know which part of Virginia you're near. Like, come on, man. The way that's spelled is just like McGackiesville.
that's actually true. That's a good point. All right. Tyler Shagackisville is going to lead Louisville to the victory this weekend. All right, one more game, and this is a big one. ESPN's College Game Day coming to Berkeley as the Miami Hurricanes come to town, taking on the Cal Bears. Again, really exciting matchup for one of our new teams. And most of us are taking the U. Jared, tell us why we're wrong.
You're probably not, but I like to believe. I like to believe in the fairy tale story. And the fairy tale story is this new team just walks in, Cal, and they don't belong. They're on the West Coast. We're a East Coast conference, east of the Mississippi at least, and they just doesn't feel like they should be here. And they have on a conference game, even before this whole realignment stuff happened, down at Auburn, Alabama. A place where folks from Cal aren't exactly welcome with open arms. And what did Cal do? Did Cal go ahead and lay down, give up, not even bother, surrender, if you will? No. They went to Southeast country, Southeastern Conference country, and told everyone in the world that we are Cal football. Bear down.
You know how many home games Auburn has lost this year?
A lot. But the point is, they made a statement. Now, of course, they've lost a game here and there, but they have an opportunity to make everyone know who they are. Miami's traveling after a very tough game against the Hokies. Some would argue that they lost from Miami down up to Berkeley, West Coast, different time zones. Now, Miami's got that late kickoff. They got that going for them. It's a 10:30 kickoff, 7:30 time body. So this should be okay. But Cal's playing at home. You don't mess with Cal. You don't mess with that so-called woke agenda that they're running with. You don't mess with their meme game that you can see all over their social media platforms. Folks, this is not just a football game. It's woke versus Coke. And it's a game that you must watch at 10:30 on ESPN. Go ahead, tell your pastor you're not going to make it to church on Sunday because you watched a college football game that legends dreamed of. And you'll be glad you did. And when legends come and watch, special things happen. Cal money line. Collect your winnings.
You know that Miami is the second leading scoring team in the country, right?
I mean,
and you know
that has
Cal,
to be.
The California Golden Bears are scoring 20 points a game.
Okay, well, a bad offensive day and a good defensive day, from Miami and Cal.
Cal ranks 101st in the country in scoring offense.
That's room for improvement.
How do they keep up? How do they keep up with Miami in this game?
Well, you look at what Virginia Tech did. Honestly, if they just go ahead and see what Virginia Tech did.
I don't think they can do those things.
I think they can. If Virginia Tech can bumble their way to almost winning the football game, actually technically winning the football game with their haphazard of a team, why can't Cal? I'm just saying. I don't think Miami's that.
Means what you think.
Listen, I'm just saying this. I guess this is what I'm indirectly saying. Miami isn't that good. They still aren't. They are going to slip and fall somewhere. Why not against Cal?
All right. I think Cam Ward, I believe, as Cam does, he's the best player in the country. Well, at least the best player.
I'm the best player in the country. I'm humbly saying that, and I'm confident saying that.
Thanks, Cam.
I think that combination of humility and confidence is unparalleled. Cam would have made a good Colorado Buffalo in another timeline, don't you think?
Yes, he would have.
Oh my gosh, yes.
All the fist fights with Dion's kids would have been fantastic to listen to.
Oh my goodness! I do think Cam will be the best player on the field on Saturday night there in Berkeley, and that's going to matter. I cannot imagine this Cal defense holding him and this high-powered Hurricanes offense at bay long enough to hang in there. This feels like a game that's close early. Miami pulls away as it gets to the end. I'm not ready to give 14 points in this, but I am ready to take Miami on the money line.
You're feeling me right there, David. I don't want to bounce one side or the other of this spread at all. This is just give me my money back. I know I'm gonna make like $5 on it. That is perfectly fine. We'll just take Miami to win. It'll be all good. Jared's probably put $500 on this and is going to roar out to the front whenever Cal actually wins the game.
As is tradition.
It paid off for him last week. Now we haven't had an update thus far though, so I still think it's worthwhile to show that even though Jared might have had the big winning this week, how many big losses he's had that added up to.
Listen, we don't talk about the past, Jeff. We look at the future. All right,
we are forward looking around here.
Yes, I'm saying. That's rearview mirror talk right there, bud.
Now, I'm going to say this. The biggest surprise of this whole week is that old Moneyline Van Gelder, Geoff himself, looks like he has grown the spine this week. What are you doing, Geoff?
Yeah, I mean, you guys sort of partly made the case for me, but yeah, I'm going all the way with the Hurricanes here and the 14 points. So I mean, a little bit tenuous because even the 14 is so 2 touchdowns makes it a push if it's a clean game here. But this is a Cal team. They've played better than I think we thought they were going to. But let's consider who they've played thus far. And I know that maybe Miami hasn't played very very many teams either yet. But let's not forget that there's a lot of bad teams and not great teams that don't put up 50 and 60 points, and even the 38 points they put up against the Hokies last week on a regular basis. So I believe this Miami team is better than Cal. I also believe that even though both these teams have questions about who they've played to start the season, there's a much bigger pop on offense for this Miami team than there is for this Cal team that they're getting ready to play. And for that reason, in spite of the fact that Cal has started off pretty strong, 3-1 overall, defense has showed the ability to keep teams in the box a little bit. They have not played a team with nearly the caliber that Cam Ward and this Miami offense is bringing. I hear you, the coast-to-coast travel, that always brings up a wild card, so it would not surprise me to see Miami play flat, but I think I can't predict the whole travel issues that may go on with time zone change. I have to go with who's the best player and the best team on the field, and to me it's Cam Ward and the Miami Hurricanes, and their 14 points are more better than this Cal Bear.
I'm the best player in the country. I'm humbly saying that, and I'm confident.
And just to give you all a heads up here, we have the minus 14 here on our sheet. ESPN currently at the recording of this recording has Miami only at minus 10. So there's some dramatic shift there, and we'll see where that line ends up on the kickoff Saturday. But just as FYI, quick fire bets, right?
Absolutely.
So I guess I'll go first. I'll go first. Stanford, Virginia Tech. The Hokies go over to Stanford for this football game real quick. The Hokies are pissed. Stanford's not that great. I think they easily cover the -6 in the hook.
All right, I've got Duke covering the spread on in their game against Georgia Tech. They're an 8-point underdog. I definitely think Duke has shown to be better than that 8-point spread, and I don't know that I would believe in Georgia Tech to hold that up quite there. Geoff.
Yeah, so for a game that I would be interested to know what this matchup went for even a season or especially a couple of seasons ago when these two teams were at their height as far as going to a game. But if you are interested in the Clemson at FSU game, you can get it for the bargain basement price of $28 to sit at Doak Campbell Stadium and watch the
They will
Clemson
pay you
Tigers.
$28 to watch it.
They might be by the time this game starts, because there's a couple things that I know. One is that Clemson seems to have righted the ship a little bit. Two is that FSU is what does John Cena say, Jared?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a Clemson. It's a big line, minus 15.5. This is not a good FSU team. They've shown it a lot. Clemson's righted the ship. They can put up some points. This is a FSU team that is totally demoralized at this point.
Yeah, I think that's the easiest bet of the week is take Clemson, give the points. But my quick fire bet's going to be Syracuse to win outright at UNLV. They come in as 4-point dogs to the UNLV Running Rebels. That actually the line has moved up over the week. So apparently everybody else knows something that I don't. But I think this is a game where Kyle McCord is going to eat. I think Syracuse is going to go out there and really, really look good. UNLV's had the drama, losing a quarterback to NIL problems and all the rest. I think this is where this catches up with them. Syracuse is a good football team. Give me the orange and the points. And in fact, give me the orange to win outright.
It's a 25th ranked UNLV too, and it's on Friday night.
Yeah, I was gonna say Friday night. Like you want to get your weekend started right. You don't have anything going on like most of us don't. And I would say get your weekend started right with the Syracuse UNLV game on Friday night.
Another game with some playoff implications. UNLV, I think they're considered like a 40% chance of making the playoff.
Yeah, you get a stiff drink, go ahead and unwind to some Running Rebels football.
Well, that's it for the Virtual Tailgate. You can send your questions or comments to virtualtailgate@mediabullcrap.com.
And always remember these 3 rules. Never get less than 12 hours sleep.
Never play cards with a guy who has the same first name as a city.
And never get involved with a woman with a tattoo of a dagger on her body.
Stick to that, and all you got to do is catch the football.
He did, David. He did. He caught the damn ball.
And that was ball game.
Oh.
We're going to have to do some more sound checks before.
Said it perfectly, Jared. It wasn't a catch.
Again, if it was